9 years old and walking down the sidewalk in our small West Texas town, I took one glance at Tony Dean, and that kid looked mean, dirty, and smelly. "Who the hell are you?" he yelled. His grass-stained jeans and filthy shirt looked like they'd never seen a washer. "I'm Lyndol," I told him. "I just moved here from Dallas." I guess he liked me, because he asked me if I wanted to break stuff. "Sounds like fun," I replied. And the adventure began. We broke all kinds of stuff. Fence boards, his sister's toys, the law. He showed me how to steal from the neighborhood 7-Eleven. We stole candy and Desert Storm trading cards. Yeah, those were valuable. One day we climbed the underside of the football bleachers and he pulled out an old green pack of Moore brand cigarettes. "Feels like floating," he laughed. One puff, I coughed like crazy, I got dizzy and almost floated straight to the ground. In 4th grade, we moved across town. I met a nice kid. He was the anti-Tony. We did normal stuff. We played catch. We joined the Cub Scouts. We played Nintendo. And the only thing we broke was his mother's vase, and that was purely an accident. But when summer came, he moved away. In 7th grade, I met a new Tony, and this one introduced me to Adam Sandler's first CD. Outlandish obscenities and pranks. We were inspired, so we ordered a taxi cab for the neighbor at 3 a.m. Then to another neighbor, we had a ginormous quantity of pizzas delivered. He had an older brother who partied a lot, and he introduced us to booze. Strawberry Hill. Boone's Farm. I was really floating. Then to top it off, weed. Stoned on Saturday, church on Sunday. Our parents were clueless. The sophomore year, there were some new Tonys. These were into thug life. They were throwing gang signs and writing raps, stealing stuff. I loved it. I was 15, I wore blue Dickies, and I carried 2 blue bandanas. Spoken really heavy Ebonics. We stole a golf cart and we painted it gold. Then we drove it down the street while our fat friend jumped up and down for the hydraulic effect. Two of those friends got busted for that stunt, but like true G's, they didn't rat. Then I had a really huge wake-up call. It was my first run-in with the law. Me and my friends, we went in his dad's car to a rival town softball complex. And in that car, we found his dad's gun. When the local kids spotted us on their turf, we flashed that piece, "Recognize, yo." Within minutes, we were swarmed by cops and we got locked up for the night. Suddenly, I did not want that life. And I had an out: golf. Visiting my dad in Dallas every summer, I'd learned to play golf. Even earned the nickname the Golfin' Gangsta. So that summer, I got a job as a cart boy at Tennyson Park Golf Course. Kids on the Lake Highlands golf team were shocked to see this little white kid who rapped and talked gangster also shoot par golf. "Move to Dallas," they said. "Join our team, man. We could win state." So I moved. Things started off really well, too. Then I met the new Tony. This kid sold weed and introduced me to LSD. Skipping school, dropping acid, and smoking weed quickly became the norm. I pierced my ears, and I started selling acid. "Nice earrings, Woodruff," the golf coach sneered. "You some kind of fairy?" So I quit golf, and my dad was pissed. "What do you mean you quit?" "Screw golf, man," I told him. "Coach can kiss my ass." All I cared about was LSD and weed. I assembled a giant 3-ring binder full of research, and I used calligraphy, and I made this cover sheet, "Lysergic acid diethylamide." At Chili's with my dad, I pulled out my binder. "Everyone should do acid." He was speechless. But 2 months later, when I got arrested for stealing golf clubs, Pops wasn't so chill. "Sit there," he said, and he hung up. This was county, this was big kid jail. I was scared. But when I got to my cell, not really. Everyone was smoking and swapping stories. I wrote raps and played dominoes. I fit right in. I got out, got probation, violated it, then got locked up for 30 more days. That didn't faze me. Over the next few years, my drinking really progressed, and the arrests started to stack up. I landed a job as a traveling product demonstrator, great money, and the drinking got worse. More arrests, a DWI in Texas, then 2 in California. Somehow, I ended up in Hollywood doing stand-up comedy. Then, I actually became a business development executive in entertainment. But no matter how great things got, I always fell off the wagon when it mattered the most. Baffled and concerned, my associates stuck me in a sober living home, and "You really need to figure this out," they said. I was given another chance, a ticket to New York, and 2 projects potentially worth millions. Feeling belittled by an associate, I started slamming Absolute and Pineapple, and that triggered the worst alcohol episode of my life. I had a 4-day bender in Manhattan. Wheeling around my luggage and golf clubs, I lost both. And then when a friend found me blacked out on a Manhattan curb, I lost my dignity. "Lyndol, do you have a death wish?" he asked. I often wondered that myself. He bought me a ticket back to LA. At the airport, I ordered a drink, then several more. I blacked out in Philly on a layover and came to in a drunk tank in Compton. Clearly lacking self-control, I came back to Dallas to get help. Instead, I got another DWI, this time facing felony prison time. And looking in the mirror, I no longer saw myself. I saw Tony Dean. I was the bad influence. I was ready to say goodbye to Tony once and for all. I sought treatment, which kept me out of prison. The lady that owns the treatment center eventually went to the judge, and she negotiated on my behalf. "A lot of people care about you," my attorney said. "Do you care about you?" I couldn't answer. I was in tears. I've been sober now for 16 months. I'm properly medicated for bipolar disorder, which apparently I've dealt with my whole life. Imagine that. Everything's changed. I'm watching my nieces grow up without my sister worrying if I'll show up smashed. Because I tell the truth, I don't have to keep track of everything that I say. Life is so much easier when you have nothing to hide. I also have a real driver's license with no restrictions. First one in 13 years. For me, gratitude is the key. Every morning, I consider those who are less fortunate. I connect with a deep sense of appreciation for the little things. Soap, shower, hot water, toothbrush, toothpaste, a warm bed. And focusing on these simple things, I transform gratitude into a way of being. And Tony Dean, that dude's long gone. Rest in peace, Tony. Rest in peace.